Order. Good evening, Vicksburg. It's Monday, February 3rd, 2025. If you would all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll take a quick moment of silence. And if you do roll call, please, Christian, just be advised that Carl Keller has the night off, as does Chad Kissinger. They pre-authorize their absences.
Trustee Fields? Here. Trustee Wagner? Here. Trustee Kissinger? Trustee Cox? Here. Trustee Reister? Here. President Pro Tem Keller? President Frisbee?
Here. So we have a quorum tonight. I see we have no scheduled appearances and no public officials in the audience tonight. It's time for citizens' comments.
Point of order, I'll move to approve the agenda.
Approval of agenda. Yes.
Support.
Do we have second? We have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We have an agenda tonight. Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Wagner.
Just picking up what Carl said.
Carl wasn't.
Carl will be proud.
Indeed. So as I said, citizens' comments, and seeing none, we'll move on. I'll just real quick note for those that are watching or will be watching this later on why we're having a little smaller agenda than normal is that we just had a meeting last Monday, but that was moved out due to Martin Luther King Day, and we're not allowed to do any governmental business on a federal holiday. So getting back in our rhythm of first Monday and third Monday of the month. So we have a general consent agenda. Everyone had an opportunity to look through it, review it. Any comments or clarifications? Or hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve the general consent agenda.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Would you do a roll call, please, Christian?
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Fields?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Reister?
Yes.
President Frisbee?
Yes. So we have just a couple action items in front of us tonight. I'll let Jim get into a little bit more detail, but the 25-26 fiscal year South Kalamazoo County Fire Authority budget. So staff is making a recommendation, a motion to support and approval of the draft budget for the South County Fire. I must say that I really appreciate, as does those at the Fire Authority and Jim, putting this budget together that conforms to governmental standards, and it just makes it easier for all of us to review and understand it. So I'll let Jim take a bit.
Sure, and I'd like to thank South Kalamazoo County. They obviously supplied a lot of the information, and Tanya, their administrator, was very helpful. But contained within the packet distributed to our council is the narrative of their fiscal year budget for 25-26. Their fiscal year is April 1st through March 31st. Also contained is the 23-24 finalized budget that does tie out to the audit that was presented that year. The 24-25 fiscal year was their approved budget. As we indicated to the South County Fire Board in their March meeting, would be the fourth quarter budget amendments, hopefully, that we can present to them that will finalize the fiscal year they're currently in. But we're confident that the budget numbers are correct for the 25-26 fiscal year. What we also said is in March or April probably is a good time frame that we would detail out their capital CIP plan with specific dollar amounts. They have commitments and assignments. They've done a nice job saving money, but we'll get that into a narrative form for them and move forward under those parameters as they move forward. So it is our recommendation that the village go ahead and authorize Carl Keller to support this budget, which will be presented to their board in draft form at the February meeting. I believe they plan on taking a vote, but it's up to the administrator and their board to finalize. They have to have it approved by the municipalities by majority before April 1st. So I believe they're planning on presenting it in February. We did distribute it to all the Village of Schoolcraft is, I think, tonight or tomorrow, and vice versa for the Township of Schoolcraft. So it's in their hands to have on their monthly agendas in February, so.
I know I can say on behalf of Carl Keller how much appreciative he is of the time that Jim has spent with their administrator to put this together as well. So I'd entertain a motion to approve. Any,
So moved.
Support?
we have motion and support. Any further discussion? Or?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, Jim, and then the SKCFA, South Carolina, staff and member organizations for letting us go through with this to get this into a more professional format, more governmentally acceptable format, as it should be. And I'm looking forward really to having, when we get to that point, the commitments and assignments really listed out, because that's, I think, what we identified in years past was a big point of contention, is that we had a big pool of money in the authority, but it was never really lined out where it was allocated to. At least on the annual budget, they always said, well, we're gonna put it here, 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 and here, but there was never a follow-up. There was never, what's actually coming in and going out of those. So I think this is definitely a good step in the right direction, and looking forward to getting the rest of that taken care of. So thank you for the hard work.
There's going to be a lot of heavy lifting to come. As you know, we'll have the final documentation from Brady Township at the next meeting, but all indications is their efforts have been to pull out of the authority. So we're going to have a lot of work ahead of us to reorganize, restructure, and make it workable for all the parties involved. So we have a motion and support. We'll do a roll call, please, Kristen.
Trustee Fields?
Yes.
Trustee Reister?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
President Frisbee?
Yes.
The second item is each year we do do a resolution for the nest destruction and goose roundup related to Sunset Lake. And we will go ahead with the council's support. You have the resolution in front of you. We will then work with the Goose Roundup Company to schedule that and move forward under the state guidelines that they set forth. But this is the first step that we have to have for the council, a resolution to move forward.
I would like to ask what the cost will be for that.
Last year, and it's going to be, when we did both, which I think was 3 years ago, because the collection of geese was not allowed by the state of Michigan due to some, I don't know if it was a disease or what. We could do the egg nest collection. And that was, I believe, right around $2,000. And when it was combined, though it was 3 years ago, I think it was a total of just over 5,000. So
that's probably pretty close to what it would be.
correct. Historically, the village had provided $6,000 on weed treatment, and we had gotten out of that pre-COVID. The government's not obligated to participate in that, but this was our contribution to have an impact on the waterways.
Thank you.
Well, we have staff recommendation to move in the motion to support to approve to conduct the next destruction and goose roundup related to Sunset Lake. What is this council's desire?
So moved.
Support.
We have motion and support. Was there any further questions or?
Yeah, just as Jim had already alluded to, and a reminder for everybody watching either tonight or in the future, is that this is the step we take every year to address this, and this is the maximum allowed method we're allowed to employ through the state. So when folks ask about what we do for the geese on Sunset Lake, we're doing as much as we are legally and statutorily allowed to, and this is that, so.
Good clarification, Ryan. Well, we have motion and support. We'll do a roll call.
Trustee Cox? Yes. Trustee Fields?
Yes.
Trustee Reister?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Frisbee?
Yes. So we'll move to village manager report. Mr. Mallory?
Yeah, just a couple comments. I had the opportunity to spend last Tuesday night through Friday afternoon up in Bay City, Michigan at the Michigan Municipal Executives State Conference. And just, it was nice, had multiple individuals say very kind things about the village of Vicksburg and the direction that things are moving. Came across some additional information that I think will be useful for the village. So it was, I think, a very good time, and I know Michelle will be attending the state treasurer's conference and Christian the state clerk's conference. I don't know if the chief, I think next week's this police chief's conference in Grand Rapids. So, yeah. But there, it's a good opportunity to make sure that we're staying ahead in the game, if you will. On that, if anyone has questions, I'd be happy to answer questions. We also, last week, there was a deadline for the MEDC RAP grant. It was submitted on January 28th for the downtown parking lot. We'll await here in the next 6 months or so to see how it scores out and we move forward. But thinking good thoughts and hoping for the best. So be a viable project. So other than that, we have next week working with the 3 council members that were assigned to Parks and Rec. We've scheduled the meetings for the 19th and 20th of February. So we should be in a good position to have a staff recommendation on February 24th, our next council meeting, reference the Parks and Rec plan update, and we're moving forward, finalizing a date for staff to have the initial kickoff meeting with the MH shop. I have also informed the one person who submitted a proposal under the downtown plan that we're going to re-RFP that out. That will be, RFP will go in front of the Planning Commission next Monday and the council on the 24th, scheduled to then be posted on the 25th for 5 weeks and evaluated and presented in April, the 4th week of April. We have a council meeting for the downtown plan. So, and we have identified, it's either 7 or 8 different companies, kind of pre-noticed them, that we'll be sending them the RFP and hoping that they submit a proposal. So.
Good work. Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim? Well, we'll move on to some committee.
I do have, I need to take advantage of, we had another meeting on the Iceberg Festival, so we should have a social media event page either tonight or first thing in the morning. I have to make sure one thing, but it will almost, I think, in fact, every retail store downtown is offering some specials. Good communication being led by retail establishments with them. We have 7 different businesses that will be involved in the soup competition. It's a non-chili, but soup competition, as well as 4 of the coffee shops. So we'll have 11 vendors. We have secured the tents. We've secured 9 different ice sculptures that'll be placed throughout downtown, as well as having a live chainsaw demonstration. It's an electric chainsaw, so the noise will be dampered, and that will be from 12 to 4. The person will be here. The live demonstration will take place from 1:30 to 3:30. We'll have a 30-minute magic show in 101 East Prairie, going every 30 minutes for people to be entertained there. 107 will be opened up with cultural arts, hands-on activities for the kids. We talked to the fire chief, and his staff will be present for 5 small open burning campfires on the west outer edge of Oswalt Park for a Samora station for kids. as well as kids' outdoor games. And then we will have a band that the Vicksburg Land Company has secured in 107 from 3:30 to 5:30, extended people into the dinner hours, where then hopefully they remain in town going to the different restaurants. So a lot of stuff will be moving social media wise and email and text, and you'll see, I think it's going to be the most cohesive effort of all the business social media pages as well as the village in prompting this event for Saturday, February 22nd, starting at 10 a.m. in the morning, with activities all centered around Oswald Park. So looking forward to it.
Thanks, Jim. You did drop in there February 22nd, the Saturday after this coming, so.
February 22nd, it's, yeah, what is it? 2 or 3 Saturdays from now.
2 Saturdays. 1, 2, 3, 3 away from us.
I was hoping the post was going to be right, I thought. I started getting nervous when he said 2.
All right, so the committee reports, we'll move on there. We'll jump down to CATS was the only one, I think, since our last meeting. Carl went on my behalf. The audit was presented with no comments. Local prioritized project list will be on their website. Metro Service will be working into Pavilion Township to provide a travel link due to the tornado from last spring. MetroLink will be expanding its connecting services into the Metro service. The MetroLink is that new kickoff program that they're doing that is similar to a cab Uber service in the Metro. The city of Kalamazoo will be utilizing Homewood Suites at the airport as a safe shelter for families on a short-term basis. And the County Road Commission has a RCKC chat available on their website. So that was the update from CATS. I don't believe there was a planning commission, will be next week. The Sewer Authority, I went to that one, and they passed a resolution to seek a bond for $1 million to do some upgrades to the system, but I think the majority of the money they were looking for was for the connection that we'll be removing ourselves from, putting in a lift station, perhaps a well pump, and other system upgrades. So I asked them for a little bit more clarity, and intention was to not come into the village line as we expand out, and that was their confirmation, yes, they have no intention of doing it. So, between us folks here, I don't think that's the best use of their time and money for the constituents or their consumers long-term, but that's the desire and the direction that they've chose as an authority. So, and I think that was. The fire will be next week. I think Carl updated us last week on it. Time for citizens' comments, and seeing none, we'll move to trustees' comments. We'll do Trustee Fields.
Nothing tonight.
Trustee Wagner.
All good this evening.
You notice I'm going from left to right this time, so I won't forget Carl. What?
That's hysterical.
Trustee.
He's watching from home.
That's right.
He's laughing right now.
Trustee Cox.
This is just a follow-up from when we had our committee meet about a week and a half ago, now that I'm feeling more like a human being. It was just a valuable time, for my first time to sit down, have a free flow of conversation. I just wanted to express gratitude for it. I walked away feeling much better informed as to what's going on, so thank you for that.
Yeah. Trustee Reister.
Well, I'd just like to wish Carl a speedy recovery. Hope he's doing well tonight at home, and we miss you being here. And also to just my gratitude to Jim for his ability to write these wonderful grants for us. I think it's pretty amazing, and it's something he does behind the scenes that people just don't realize. And so I just want to thank him for his expertise. Thank you.
Yeah, ditto that, and he wrote one 2 years ago for the fire authority where they were able to get $60,000 for turnout gear. He helped them create a budget, governmental budget report. So there's a lot that Jim does that goes unseen, but our gratitude is there. And the strategy sessions as well. I commend everyone for being there and engaging like you did. But I think that's just a great opportunity for free flow of information amongst this group. So I always look forward to those. I think they're very, very beneficial. Carl, good luck. Jim and I both checked in on him today and got a positive thumbs up. He's doing well and he's home. And I won't even talk about Trustee Kissinger. It's 80 degrees down in sunny Florida where he's at now. So, and Ms. Trustee Wagner, Carl would be very proud of your point of order. So, thank you so much. Well, with that, and barring any other comments, I think we may have set a record, though the intention wasn't to.
So moved.
Okay, Carl. Do we have support?
Support.
All those in favor of adjourning this meeting tonight, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for being here.